If you want to stay in the trading game for the long term, well, then you must understand position sizing. Position sizing is basically how much are you going to risk with each trade. You may have run the numbers and saw the more you risk, the faster you'll get to your goals. However, we can be our own worst enemy and we can sabotage ourselves. We sometimes make mistakes. Some of my biggest losses had to do with my mistakes, had nothing to do with the market. So you need to understand, what is your risk tolerance? Ask yourself this question: how much are you willing to lose in your trading account? Not all the money you have, just in the account that you trade with. Would you be okay losing 1%, 5%, 10%, and still be okay and ready to trade the next day? What if you lost 25% or 50%? You need to understand your risk tolerance. Now, here are a few rules of thumb. The thing is, you want to make sure that you have enough money to continue trading the next day without missing a beat. And the general rule is 1 to 3% of your entire account. However, if you have a smaller trading account, say with $1,000, 1 to 3% is $10 to $30, and that's not practical. So you'll need to consider maybe 10 or 20%. But at the same time, consider how much are you willing to lose. My general rule when I'm trading options directionally overnight is that I could lose 50 or 75% if the market doesn't go in my direction. This means if I risk $250, I could lose $125 or more. And you need to ask yourself, would you be able to trade comfortably again the next day if you lost that amount of money? When I'm trading overnight, SPY T style, I have a 2-to-1 ratio with my options, meaning if my indicator said up, I would have a 2-to-1 call to put ratio. I have a number of videos on this. I'll hook some up at the end of this video. But the thing is, in those situations, I know I won't lose as much. However, I certainly could. I generally don't lose more than 15% when there's high volatility. However, when volatility comes down, I know it could be even more. So my max in that situation is about 25%, is my worst case scenario. And yes, it could be more, but it rarely is. Usually it's under 10%, especially when the VIX or volatility is in the 20s. So if I risk $250 in my SPY T trade, I could maybe lose $25, $50, or $75 in the worst case scenario. But if the market totally tanked, I'd probably end up making money on the other side as the value of the put increased. The greatest enemy in SPY T trading is not so much the indicator being wrong, although being wrong a few days in a row can certainly hurt, and that is something you need to consider. However, it's when volatility is going down and the premiums of the options are going down, whether you're right or wrong. If you're unsure of your risk tolerance or the realities of the style of trading you decide to do, whether it's SPY T or any other type of trading, try it out for a couple weeks on paper trade, and see how much you would win, how much you would lose, and figure out what the average would be. There may be some technical things you need to work on, some trading style approaches that you need to improve. Traders who position size well tend to stay in for the long term because they have a long-term view. They don't need the money next week. They position size well, which means they won't blow up their account with one bad trade or a series of trades. They trade in a way that's practical and will grow over time because math is on their side. However, if you have a larger position size, even if math is on your side, there's going to be days or even weeks that could take you out of the game. And that's what you want to avoid. And yes, unfortunately, this is experience talking. For example, if you had a $1,000 trading account and you risked $250 and lost 10% of that, well, that would be a loss of 2.5% of your entire account. And if you lost 50% of your trade, that would be a 12.5% loss on your entire account. When you begin your trading with a smaller account, such as a $1,000 account, and you risk 20, 30, or 10% of that account, know it won't take as long to blow up that account in a way that you can't recover from. So don't ever start trading money that you're unwilling to lose. In the beginning, you can start with a fixed percentage of your account, whatever it may be, 1%, 5, 10, 20% of that account. Or you could have a fixed dollar amount, such as $200 every trade. There are a number of specialty and unique calculations and calculators out there to help you determine what might be the appropriate position size. However, it really is totally up to you and your risk tolerance. Consider how much could you risk and still sleep during your overnight trade. Do a serious assessment of your trades. What percentage of your trades are you actually coming out on top? Once you understand your risk tolerance and the maximum you're willing to risk, don't double down on losing trades. Get out, reassess the situation, and trade another day. The thing is, if you don't risk enough, you won't grow. But if you risk too much, you could blow up your account. Consider, based on the type of trade, what is your max drawdown. Some indicators are stronger than others, and based on your experience, you can base your risk off the strength or history of those indicators. The SPY Tomorrow indicator has a confidence level, and it's not uncommon for me to risk based on that number. One thing that will certainly help you in the trading process is to cut your losers short and let your winners run. Hey, I'll see you in the next video.